Hello everyone, my name is Tom Gleason. I'm a Strategic Engagement Manager with Akamai. That means I get to help clients like you best use our technology as well as consult on any other internet technologies that exist out there. Today I'm just going to take you through how to test with Akamai. This is the most basic and widely used testing method. There are others out there though. So let's just pick on a website to start with. We're actually going to use I think we'll use developer.akamai.com. So right now this site is going through Akamai production, and what does that exactly mean? It means that when you do a DNS lookup for developer.akamai.com, right now I'm doing a dig. If you're on a Windows machine, nslookup should be fine. You will get pointed at an Akamai Edge server. This is where kind of Akamai's global DNS magic works. But this is the server that I'm going to be pointed to. However, when we want to test, if you've made a configuration change in Akamai, or if you're doing something security related and you're tuning things and you want to check if that in Akamai Staging, you need to point at our staging network. And the way you do that is you actually append -staging to the edge key hostname. Now let me show you what that looks like. I've already got it all set up here. I've now captured this edge key hostname right here. And I've now appended staging to the end of it, just right before the top level. And when I hit enter, you will see that I get two different IPs than I saw before. That's because this is just for our staging network, right? So you've got your production one that your global user base will see, and you've got the staging one that you can always point to, test, build, customize, whatever you need to do. So what I want to do is I actually want to take this and I want to modify my host files. Essentially, I want to override the DNS process and just point directly to that server. On a Mac, you would need a sudo up and go to the etc/hosts file. Let me show you just what mine looks like. Right, I've already actually got this in here just for the testing purpose here. But I will also show you where it is in Windows, and I'll also recommend a cool little tool to help you out here if you're on a Mac. So let's just go to Windows. I've already peed into a system over here. You can actually see here I'm in the Windows directory /system32/drivers/etc. and then there is the host file. So that's the one you'll want to edit if you're on a Windows machine. Going back to this, I'm going to capture this IP, or let's just use this one because I've already used it. And I'm actually going to use a cool little tool called GasMask. GasMask is a GUI interface for host files, specifically for Mac. It's open source. It's a great little tool. But what's really nice about it is that I can have multiple files that I call on. Maybe I'm testing a lot of different configurations, or I have a lot of things to manage. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the IP as I've already have right there, and the domain it is associated with. So great. So now let's exit GasMask. Let's minimize my terminal here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open an incognito window to show you where to or what to look for specifically when it comes to looking for Akamai staging indicators. I'm going to open my developer tools here in the network tab. This exists for all modern browsers, whether it's Safari, Firefox. I'm going to go to developer. I can spell developer.akamai.com. Okay, fantastic. We're going through to Akamai, back to origin, all of that good stuff. We can actually see this is the same address that we put into our host file before. Again, why this is so nice. Perfect. And what we're really looking for to make sure that we're on Akamai staging is a header and in the response. It's the X-Akamai-Staging. This header actually indicates it only exists if you're on the staging network. The value here is ESL. That's basically our secure network. If it was free flow, that's our unsecure network, usually used by our media customers. But this is the header you are looking for. If you were in production, this would not show up. So great. I'm now on Akamai Staging. I'm now testing. Well, what can I look at? I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the Akamai Pragma headers and what other things you can test. Before I do that, I'm just going to pull up a sample curl command I have to show you that you don't just need to use a browser for this. Let me go back to my terminal. I'm just going to throw my curl command in here You can see that I've got some pragma headers, which I will speak to in 1 second. Fantastic. So I got back a 200 OK, and you can see I've got all these other headers in here, or response headers in here, and I'm still on ESL. What these response headers actually indicate are relatively important when it comes to testing. I'm not going to go into all of them today, but that's what these pragma headers do. They actually indicate, hey, whether something was delivered from cache or how long it will be kept in cache, amongst other things. If I go back to my text editor here, these are all the pragma headers. We'll put a little bit of information in the explanation below on how to use these. But you can also use these in your browser. There's actually a litany of ways to do this. You can modify your headers. There's extensions for that in Chrome and Firefox and Safari. There's even extensions just to include the Akamai headers. And let me show you what it looks like here. So I'm on my browser. I've requested developer.com. Let's actually shrink the response and look for the request, and look for those pragma headers I'm sending in on the request. There they are, perfect. Let's shrink the request and now look at the response. And now we can see all these unique proprietary Akamai response headers coming back to indicate different pieces of debug information. Really, really useful. If you're ever on a call with support, they might ask you to do this. So that's basically it when it comes to testing with Akamai. You'll want to look up an Akamai Staging IP. You'll want to modify your host file, and you'll want to then test. You can include the Akamai pragma headers if you need a little bit more verbose logging and debug information. The only thing to keep in mind is that you'll want to flush your DNS. There's ways to do that locally and on the browser before you point at Akamai Staging. Look out for cool extensions and enjoy testing with Akamai. Thank you.